Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we're discussing a watch launched in 2020. This is the white gold version of the Lange Söhne Odysseus sports watch. The timepiece, which is 40.5 millimeters in diameter in white gold, is a remarkably svelte 11.3 millimeters thick, and from end link to end link, the total distance across the wrist is a surprisingly broad 52.2 millimeters. Now we'll throw it on my wrist, and you can see this example is equipped with a rubber strap, which makes its 120-meter water resistance extremely accessible. You can also see, in spite of the large end link to end link distance across the wrist, I'm having no trouble wearing it on a 16-centimeter wrist. So I think you could probably, despite the width, get away with this on a 14-centimeter circumference wrist. Being as thin as it is with a domed bezel, it'll slide easily underneath the cuff, and the strap is very comfortable. Taking a quick look at the strap, you can see it features some striations, some molded in character lines to give it definition. It's integrated into the shape of the lug profile the same way as the bracelet would be on the steel watch, so it does still have a very coherent integrated look. There's almost no daylight between strap and this end link profile. As you can see, the watch uses a quick release system. You press on the bottom, then you push the bar through, and that's how you swap straps on these watches. We have a pin buckle that is a handsome piece, and as you can see, it is both polished and satinated, and it's got a couple of clever features built in. First, you can see some of the signs of a.lange, BRO, Brogioli. It's a company in the Ticino region of Switzerland that makes clasps and bracelets, and they made this piece for Lange. It has a little bar inside, so if you're like me and you tend to use the smallest hole on a strap or even punch a smaller hole, you know that tightly strapping a watch on a small wrist can result in the watch getting stuck on the wrist. So to prevent the watch strap from getting pinned on the pin, you have that little reinforcing bar in the background that prevents the strap from sinking too low. The other feature that I like here is this elevated bridge. You can see how the bridge is higher than the prongs on each side. That means that when you put the watch on your wrist and you strap it down, the strap sits inside the buckle rather than stacking up thickly beneath the buckle. On the underside, you can see that there are some hollows molded in to make the strap more flexible, but also to vent the wrist. Now, the timepiece includes a case of gray gold. Gray gold is white gold, but without any kind of rhodium plating. So 18 karat white gold that's white all the way through is gray gold. Yellowish, milky yellow, cheap white gold that's rhodium plated is not gray gold. Gray gold, if scratched, is the same color underneath and never needs to be rhodium plated. The case is visibly related to other Lange watches with the conventional round vertical mid case, so it's rounded from end to end but vertical from top to bottom, with a domed bezel and stepped out lugs. But you can see that there's a little bit of additional faceting to the mid case at the top, the bottom, and the sides that sets this apart from a conventional Lange case. And what at first glance appears to be a crown guard structure for the screw down crown is actually a push button quickset system for the Datamatic calendar system. Very, very enjoyable to operate. The feel and the sound is as good as the pusher feel of a dotograph in its column wheel. The dial is made of brass, which is a little bit different for Lange watches. They're usually made of sterling, but this one is made of brass. It features a radial coining, a sunken center dial, a sub-register for seconds, and a nickel anthracite coating. The hands, the frames for the date, and the hour indices are all white gold, and then you can see outboard there is a track with a satin metallic finish featuring the minutes individually. So we'll do a quick lume shot here so you can see the watch in the dark, and there is plenty of lume, no shortage whatsoever. The watch does feature a screw-down crown to enable its 120-meter water resistance, and when you pull that crown out all the way, you activate the hacking seconds or stop seconds function. Turning the watch over, we can see a movement that has been significantly updated, but it's not all new for the model. By the way, we talked a little bit about who made that buckle. Let's take a look at who made the case. SUG. That is a case factory primarily owned by Sinn. So if you're familiar with German Sinn sports watches, that's who SUG is. Lange does not make cases and never has. So you always see a different maker's mark on the cases, bracelets, and clasps. They do make movements, however, and this movement is the 155.1. So it's based on the L086 with some changes. The beat rate is higher. It goes from 3 hertz to 4 hertz to better deal with shocks and concussions, making it more suited to use in a sports watch. So the higher beat rate is there for durability and accuracy in action. We also have a full balance bridge that's anchored on each side. The 086 only has a single-sided balance cock, so this better braces the free sprung balance. It beats away at that 4 hertz beat rate. It's free sprung, it sits on a full balance bridge, it's tough. We've got at center ceramic rotor bearings, and we've got a rotor that includes a platinum mass. Not gold, certainly not 18 karat, certainly not tungsten, platinum mass for maximum winding efficiency. You can see a nickel anthracite coating on the rotor, which includes 4 separate finishes, and you'll appreciate that the mass is held to the rotor using blued screws. But as you can see, if you start to examine the swan's neck regulator and the case clamp screws, we have both black polished and blued screws on this movement. Another nod to ancestral German watchmaking, we have a 3/4 style plate comprising the barrel bridge as well as the winding bridge, and the timepiece has a movement made of German silver, so you can see it's actually slightly golden hued. That's a result of the copper in the nickel copper zinc alloy that comprises German silver. Although there aren't a whole lot of bridges, you can see that the edges of the bridges that we have are mirror beveled with fine anglage. We have 1 jewel set in a golden chaton fixed by screws, another nod to the pocket watch era when chaton were used to fix screws, or I should say jewels, by means of screws rather than pressing the jewel directly into the bridge. We have stripes across the bridges, anglage on their edges. We have black polished and blued screws. We have engine turning on the base plate. And of course, it would not be a lange if it did not feature a freehand engraved balance bridge or balance cock. And all of this has a 50-hour power reserve. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this a.lange Söhne Odysseus.